Hey guys, welcome to the Daily Bits. So let's talk about something personal. A lot of this stuff is personal, but let's talk about something really personal. So I used to be one of those guys that wanted, like what everybody else usually wants. They want a good job, a nice home, and starting a family. Usually that's bringing kids into the world. Now, I used to want that more than anything. I used to want that a whole lot. I wanted to have kids. I wanted to have a mini-me running around. And it wasn't until some stuff happened, and I don't want to completely blame it on that, but some of it happened with, where my friend Josh committed suicide. I kind of changed a little bit because, Josh, whenever he died, he left behind a son and a daughter and a wife. And with my condition and how many times I've been in the psych ward for either wanting to kill myself or trying to kill myself, I made the decision to get a vasectomy. Now, I did this a few years ago. My brother, he didn't support that. He didn't want me to. Some people blamed my wife. It wasn't her. She didn't want to have kids either, but it wasn't her that I was doing this for. I was doing it mainly for myself because I was afraid of myself. And it is kind of selfish the way I thought of it. Like, all I thought was, well, if I brought kids into the world and did the unthinkable, then I'd leave them behind. I never thought, I'd be leaving my friends, my family, my wife behind. I just thought the kids. And, I never thought, hey, I'm leaving behind somebody and some bodies that love me very much. But I always wanted kids. I always did. I'm really good with kids. I get attached to kids. My niece and my nephew, I love them so fucking much. I love them so much. I would take a bullet for them if I had to. This past weekend, I got to hang out with them. They came to my house and spent the day with me and my wife, and we all played and hung out and had pizza, watched some movies, played some video games, and all kinds of stuff. And like I said, I always look forward to seeing them. I was used to seeing them every day because where I lived with my brother there for a while, I watched them grow up. And they're, 4 and 5 years old. And, the boy, the older one, I don't want to give, names and stuff, but he's getting into video games. He's into Pokemon, which is my fault because I introduced him to Pokemon. And, I kind of feel like he's going to be a nerd just like his uncle, which, I hope so. I hope he's a nerdy boy. I hope he is somebody that I can go and we can watch Lord of the Rings together and play some video games together when we get older. I hope that's the case. I hope so. I know while he's young, I know Dad wants him to be probably maybe a football star or something like that. I don't know. I don't think that, but I'm sure he doesn't want his child to be a big nerd. They call me Uncle Diggert till this day. They don't call me Uncle Derek. They had a problem saying my name. For the longest time, they couldn't say Derek, so they called me Diggert, which was cute, which was always cute. I would, until this day, until the day I die, they will always have to call me Uncle Diggert. They can't change. It has to be Uncle Diggert for the rest of my life. The boy likes to say Uncle Derek sometimes, and I'm like, hey, what's my name? I have to correct him. I was like, that's not my name. And they're like, Uncle Diggert. I'm like, that's right. I'm your Uncle Diggert, not Uncle Derek. Don't call me that. That's rude. And I just mess with them. I don't get mad or anything. I just think it's funny because they just play along with it and they laugh and have fun. But part of me still wants kids, but I can't. Like, I really can't. Like, well, it's too late now. I guess you can always get it reversed, but I can't do it. I'd rather, spend my life with these kids than have my own kids. I don't plan on ever hurting myself. I don't. And just in case that is ever the case, if that ever was to happen, which I hope that never happens, I hope I never get in a low spot like that again in my entire life and want to end my life. Because I don't want to end my life. I really don't. I don't want to die. Used to, I didn't care to die. I actually embraced it. But now, like, these days, like, since I'm married and I had these kids and my family and, my mom, she's going to need me just in case the worst happens with my dad. I kind of feel like I can do good in this world, even if I'm not, even if I don't have my own family, which, say what you want. I have a family, my own family. I have my wife. I have my cats. But I have you guys. I have my friends, my family. Some of my friends I haven't talked to in a long time. I'm hoping to eventually open those doors again. Because I just kind of hid, man. Like, I hid. I was so afraid. Ever since Josh died, it's just like, I've taken it really hard. I've taken it to places where I shouldn't have. It's really not fair, honestly. In all honesty, it's not fair, like, to anybody. It's actually, it feels awful. And I have his son and his daughter to talk to about how awesome their dad was. But, there's always going to be that moment where we'll have to get real and talk about some stuff that is really hard. That's going to happen. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen one day. One day, somebody's going to have to talk about it. But, I'll be ready for that. And we already kind of talked about that in another video. But, like I said, I love kids. I made a video, I think it was around Christmas. It was a short where I said something about some kids being little bastards. And, I do say things like that from time to time. I have a dark sense of humor. Just go ahead and put it there. I have a dark sense of humor. A lot of people are not going to get my sense of humor. They may be turned off by my sense of humor, but I do have a dark sense of humor, and I do say some shocking things. Usually I don't mean it. Usually it's just out of fun. But still, the whole kids acting up, and that drives me crazy. That drives me crazy up the walls. But, yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys ever hesitate on, wanting kids, or do you think it was the right call for me to get a vasectomy, to stop that? Like, do you think that was a good idea? I'd like to know. Guys, thank you so much for watching me. I'll talk to you soon.